ready to work. We're ready to win. We have a strategy, and now we can begin. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. All I need is inside of me. I am enough and now I see. Yeah, I will reach my destiny. Yeah, I don't need your permission. Yes, I'm on a mission. I'll win. Oh, oh, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now listen, I want y'all to repeat after me, okay? Cause we're gonna make some declarations in here today. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm building a sea for the whole world to see. You say, yeah. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. Say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see me. Say, oh, say I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, we are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over.
Hey, all right, that's Tammy Turner doing her thing on that song. Come on now, we got to give her a huge shout out. Shout out to Tammy Turner for writing, producing, and performing that song for the Playtime is Over conference in November last year. And we have just adopted it for this show because what's our purpose? Our purpose is to stand shoulder to shoulder with other women and men who are bold enough to share their story, bold enough to use their unique gifts to impact the world in a big way and not to hold back. Even when it scares you, you know, you keep doing it anyway, even when you're not sure of the next move. I put something on Facebook the other day about sometimes just doing it even in the face of not knowing, like really giving yourself the grace to not know, but to press forward anyway, to be fearful, but to keep moving, to fall flat on your face and to get back up. It's all about giving yourself grace. And I think the power of giving yourself grace is that you understand, by giving yourself grace, that your journey will never be one of perfection.
That's it.
You're always going to have to give yourself grace. Oop, I could have did that better. Or oops, that ain't go the way I thought it was going to go. Like there's always something that you can improve upon. And I say it like this. I say success strokes my ego, but failure teaches me how to do it better the next time.
Every time.
So you got to appreciate the success and the failures, the ups and the downs. So I'm super excited to be here with my beautiful guest who's here to the left of me. We haven't seen each other in a minute, like a couple of Sundays, okay, more than a couple of Sundays, a couple months of Sundays. And so she's just a woman who is near and dear to my heart. I love everything that she stands for and represents in her business. And so I just can't wait to introduce her. That's somebody who's not watching the show, so they calling me. So I can't wait to introduce her to you in just a moment. But before I do that, I have to thank the partner, one of our partners of this show who has followed us. We started the show back in October of, January of last year, not October, right? January of, time flies. Wow. January of last year, we were on a 2-hour platform, and we just started on a 1-hour platform because you guys said to us, hey, we want to be able to watch the whole show and we can't stick around for 2 hours because I'm on my lunch break. So we have shifted and made adjustments to bring you the greatness that we still bring you, but in an hour show so that you can stick with us. And so this person has followed us to this new platform. Her name is Ladrine Peterson. You guys hear me talk about her all the time. I adore her spirit. But she has an organization called Do It. And she is all about turning dreamers into doers. But she has this amazing nonprofit component of her organization called I Am the Legacy Campaign. Now, they were on a little brief hiatus. And when Ladrine says hiatus, she mean, I've been gone for 2 weeks. She don't mean like a real hiatus, like, I've been gone for 4 months. She mean like a brief hiatus. And now they're back in full effect. So let me tell you what's happening. The campaign takes the often heard statement, I want to leave a legacy for my children and my children's children to the next level. It encourages all of us as a community to invest in our children now, not to wait, and to put them on track to start building legacies now. So the campaign consists of 3 components. Number 1, a youth business pitch contest. Number 2, a youth anthology book. And number 3, a youth conference symposium. That's really amazing, right? So far, more than $1,000 has been raised through fundraisers and donations. And next up is their next fundraiser, which is fitness fundraisers. So starting November 12th, there's a company that they're teaming up called Rydem. I'm assuming that's how it's pronounced. If not, I apologize for that. But it's RHYDEM. And someone has described this experience as the most creative, sensual way of shedding pounds in the DMV area. I'm coming to one of those. Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm coming to one so I can know, so I can report back live.
Exactly.
So that y'all know
we might have to team up for that one.
Team up for that one. The tickets are $26 and includes a t-shirt. To register, sponsor, donate, or volunteer, just go to the website, www.iamthelegacy.org. If somebody could type that in the feed, that would be fantastic. I see you here, Deidre Spears. Thank you for being here. Bernadette, Renee, thank you for being here. Kim, Melody, Cecil, thank you guys for being here. If someone could type this in the feed, www.iamthelegacy.org. And you can follow Ladrine on Facebook under Ladrine Howard Peterson, and Do It Delivers on Instagram. So we thank you just for partnering with us and for all the amazing things that you're doing in the community. So let me introduce this beautiful lady who's next to me, because I know you guys are wondering. Her name is Shayla Boyd Gill. From bankruptcy to multiple six-figure earner, Shayla Boyd Gill, the family freedom and affluence mentor, is an extraordinary and proven business coach who shows family-centered women entrepreneurs how to have it all: family, freedom, and affluence, while doing what they love. She helps her clients to build lucrative and leveraged businesses so that they have the freedom to be with their family and, come on now, make big money all at the same time without the sacrifice that so many of us think that we have to make. Welcome to the show. You look amazing.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely
Cheryl.
Beautiful. Now tell them how many kids you have, first of all.
Okay, so I have 1 million kids. No,
She does. She really does.
No, really. I have 6 children. 6 homeschool kids.
Nowadays, 6 kids, that's like saying you got 16 kids.
Yeah,
like,
it
after
is.
my third one, I was like, I pulled my doctor to the side. Look, me and you, take out whatever you got to take out. I'll never want, this relationship is over.
I know.
6
I know.
beautiful.
Some generational gene must have jumped in me from some, several generations back, and they were like, baby, keep the tribe alive.
Keep the tribe alive. So what's the ages?
They are 4, 7, 11, 15, 18, and soon to be 21.
Come on now. Woo! God bless your heart. That's all. Hats off to you. So what made you start this business, SBG International, about women being able to create freedom while they're serving their families and creating this level of affluence? Because we hear some people say you can't have it all. So what's your thought process on that, and what is it that you teach women?
This was all created because when I entered into the coaching industry in 2012, I wanted to coach with someone that I felt was an influencer. And I remember before I invested, I watched one of her conferences. On her stage, there were 4 women. They were all multiple 7-figure earners, but every one of them were divorced.
Wow.
And immediately I thought, this is not my guide, because I wanted someone that could demonstrate to me that I could have the business I desired, plus have my family intact, because family was my number one.
Yeah.
And the thing that I kept hearing were that there were sacrifices along the way, which we know that, you're going to live a little differently, but I wasn't willing to sacrifice my relationship with my children or my husband.
That's so powerful.
And
That's so powerful.
I was able to do it, and I said, if I can do this, other women can do this too. This is not impossible.
I love that. That takes me back to, I'll never forget, I was working with a client, and the client had so much potential and just greatness all over her, and I know she's going to do great things. Yeah. But I remember her getting to a point where she made the statement like, oh, I'm walking away from my marriage because my husband is not supporting me, and this is what I was born to do, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, and I started also to see this this common denominator amongst a lot of women who are walking away from marriage and family.
Absolutely.
For one thing, for business, instead of how do I align things so that my family stays priority, and then, or God, for me, God, family, then business. Yeah. How do I at least capsize this idea that I can have it all?
Well, I think the thing that is being sold, which is a farce, is balance. People are saying, oh, you can have balance. No, it's not equal.
Yeah.
But you have to figure out where to distribute your time and your energy. And you make priorities. It shifts. Sometimes the business is going to get more. Sometimes the relationship's going to get more. Sometimes the kids are like, look, stop, Mom. I need you. And you have to be willing to be flexible. But the thing that I'm able to teach my clients is to create a business model that works for them and their families. So the families, whenever I think of the way my business is set up, it's not for me. It's not, oh, it's just me. I want to be a millionaire. I want to do this. Any conversation I'm having with the family, it's about us. We're doing this so that we can, the word we is important. That's missed out of a lot of conversations, which has your partner looking at you like, well, what about me?
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing your thing. Yeah, of course they're going to be disassociated.
Yes.
If you're saying it's me.
Yes.
But if I'm coming to you with, yes, I'm going to be gone for a week, but as a result of this, we're going to be able to X, Y, Z.
Absolutely.
That's a different conversation.
It is. You are talking my talk today, because
true.
anybody who follows me, they know that family is definitely my number one. Like, that's above every, God then family.
Yes.
But that's my top priority over everything. And I love the way you said not balancing, but distributing your time where it needs to be. Yes. And so sometimes that may mean the family at that moment gets a little less of the distribution because you're out serving the world.
That's it.
And then there are going to be other times where the family's getting a greater percentage and the business is on the back burner or sitting, not getting a distribution of your time. Like for me, for Sundays it's like, don't call me, don't text me, don't email me, don't do nothing. I'm not responding to your emails. I don't care how, unless it's super, super urgent. Yeah. But that's kind of my unplug, be with my family, focus on family. So that distribution is different on that day.
And it makes one point that you said for you, your Sunday, if that's your day or if that's your time, being fully present.
Yes.
There's so many of us, we'll go to the table and this is at the table, we're checking, we're looking for the next email. It can wait 5 minutes.
Yes.
If I'm going to be present for my kids and I'm telling them put the phone down, then I need to be the example of doing the same thing. Put the phone down, have a real conversation, and be fully present. Not just, oh, how was your day, and move on, but actually engage. Like, I involve my children in the business.
Yeah.
They understand the why and the how of what I'm doing, but they're excited to support me in this process. My husband, too, he's the one that's saying, go. I'm the one saying, I can't go to this place because I'm going to miss a birthday party. He says, go, because I've delivered.
Yeah.
I've shown up. I've been present. And it's all about communication.
Yeah.
We lack the communication skill. We may communicate better to our clients than we do to our family.
Yeah, that's so true.
You have to really pause and say, where am I not delivering in my family? Because the family, they can survive. Kids can survive. They don't have to have you.
Come on, can we say that again? The kids will survive,
They will survive.
They can survive and they will survive. I will survive. They will survive without you.
Their behinds are eventually going to leave your household.
Yes.
You and your husband need to know how to communicate by the time they leave and not look at each other crazy.
That's so true. My little feelings were hurt. I got to share this story because we talk about surviving, because I didn't think my family could survive without me. So I was away. I started going away more consistently for the speaking, right? Yes. I'll never forget. At first, it was kind of like a big deal. Like, everyone's like, oh, mommy, you leaving? And my husband's like, oh, babe, I hate when you leave. Okay, it started like that. Girl, by the 5th, 6th month, they didn't even know. Did y'all know I was gone? I would get back and just be like, hello, hello. You just blend in. So yes, They will survive. Your spouse will survive. Your kids will survive. But I think, like you said, it's the distribution. It's the communication.
Yes.
I call it harmony. Lisa Nichols, I think, also calls it harmony. Creating that harmony where everybody's on the same page. And that if there's a sacrifice being made, everybody understands what their role is to make it work. So when I'm away, like for the month of September, my speaking schedule was crazy.
Yes.
I was gone every single week of the month, right? And I'm not talking about for a day. I'm talking 3 days out of out of each week. That's a lot to drop on my husband to take the kids to school, pick the kids up, homework, dinner, anyway. So my thing is I had to make sure that I communicated with him, hey, in advance, like this is what's coming up.
Yes.
And making him feel like I need you.
Yeah.
Like I need your support. I can't, and I use words like that. I don't know about you. Like I can't do this on my own. This is a group. And I'll say this to my husband. Y'all check this one out. I'll be like, babe, you know it's just me and you against the world. Boy, that one get him every time.
She teaching you guys. Okay, she teaching. So here's the deal. Here's something I talked about with my clients the other day. We had a gathering. And it goes back to the book, The 5 Love Languages.
Yes.
For me, my love language is acts of service. So my husband's always
Me
like
too.
making sure that, you know, the car's filled up, making sure the bags are in the car. But his love language is actually affirmation, affirming. He needs to hear, you know, I appreciate this.
Yes.
Great job. Whereas I'm such a runner, it doesn't matter for me.
Oh my God.
Because, you know, that independence kind of rises up. But I have to remember, if I feed him, he's going to be good.
Come on now.
If I don't stop, pause, just sit and be present and say thank you, he's not going to be good.
Come on. And
So
let's
know how to communicate.
That is so true. And it's called the five love languages.
Yes.
I took that test. I went to some conference. I was speaking, and I went to somebody else's session, and that was probably like 3-4 years ago, and it was the first time I'd ever heard of it.
Yes.
And I learned so much.
Yeah.
And I loved it so much that I came home and I gave the test to my husband so I could know what his love language was. And I was shocked that I am also do stuff for me, like take the trash out, drop the kids off. Like show me, help make my life easier. Him, he's more touch, feel,
quality time.
Yeah. And I was just like, really? Because like you, I'm such a runner. I'm running. I'm not thinking about that. Oh, did we touch each other's hand this morning? I don't care. Like, see you when you get home, bro.
Right, you saw me already.
Right. But he is very different. So that helped me to learn how to deal with him better, even with the business, when things came to the business, how I approach him, how I deal with him when I'm going to be gone, when I'm going away. And let me say this, we're going to take this real grown folks, so if it's some children watching, make sure you cover their ears.
Folks.
Look, the thing is, you better give your husband some. You better stop saying you tired. Because I'm telling you, those women that was on that stage talking about they divorce, it's a reason. And I'm not blaming people for divorce because things happen, whatever. But what I'm saying is you always have to get to the end of the road and say, okay, did I give everything that I could give? Did I try and fix the things that were broken?
Right.
For me, there was a point in my marriage where I was running so much for the business that I really was neglecting the marriage in terms of the intimacy part. Yeah. Like, you know, my husband wants something. I'm like, I'm tired, babe. I just got back from speaking. I just serve 1,000 people in the world. Everybody think. So now, basically, what you are is a public success, but a private failure.
That's it.
And I did not want, that was not what I wanted. So I had to, and it was really a sister who kind of woke me up. And she was like, Cheryl, you know, you keep saying you're doing this, because I would always say, I'm doing this for us. She's like, no, you're doing it for you, because he ain't signed up for that.
He's sitting on the side.
Right. You doing it because you love it, not because, oh, he signed up for that and said he wanted that. Yeah. So stop saying it. That shifted everything for me. And I started making him a priority, just like I would make a speaking engagement a priority.
That's it.
So I don't care how tired I was. If somebody would call me and say they had a speaking engagement and a check, you think I wouldn't get the energy to come? Right. Okay, yes, I'll be there. And what time and where do I come? I will find the energy.
Of course.
So I had to ask myself, so why am I not finding that same energy to show up for my marriage and my husband?
I love to tell my clients, if you're not good at selling, your first attempt at selling is selling your family onto your dreams.
Yeah, that's really good.
If you can sell your family into your dreams, you can sell anyone else. Because they're the people that know you the most. Maybe you've tried something before. Maybe you failed at it before. Maybe you quit. And, you know, they may be questioning you. Yeah. But if you can show up and really sell them the dream, you can do anything.
That's wonderful. I love that.
And the other thing is, I love that you said, you know, really being the intimacy. When you got married, you know, if you didn't have this business before when you got married, you showed up a particular way.
Yeah.
Then you're going to go and switch gears
Yes.
mid-marriage.
Yes.
And like, oh, I'm a pro now, but I don't have time for you.
Right.
Of course they're going to get like, well,
Absolutely.
I'm not a priority here.
Absolutely.
So you have to remember how you showed up then. You still show up now. You just elevated.
Yeah.
But still show up and be the woman that he was attracted to then.
Absolutely.
Just an elevated version of it.
Yeah, and for me, I a part of my shift was putting the shoes on my foot. Is that the saying? Put the shoes on my foot. Is that right? Am I saying that
I know
right?
what you're trying to say.
Y'all know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put yourself in his shoes.
Yeah, but I put myself in his shoes.
Yes.
Thank you. Whatever. Yeah. So the brain is like,
exactly.
Some days it moves faster than other days. I swear, the closer I get to this 45 mark, I'm like, what was I saying, y'all? Sometimes I have to ask my audience, y'all, what was I saying?
Kids, I can't remember nothing.
Come on now. It's like, all right, it ain't
Can't
just me.
spell or nothing.
And I put myself in his shoes,
Yes.
and I said, well, suppose he just kind of came home one day and was like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm gonna start speaking, or I'm gonna start doing this thing, and by the way, it's gonna require that I be gone, 3 weeks out the month or
Right.
2 weeks out the month, and you stuck with the kids and all the responsibility. Like, how would I feel about that? So that was a big awakening moment for me to put myself in his shoes and to deal with him with a certain level of more mildness and softness versus just, well, I don't understand why you don't understand, right?
Well, another thing we carry as leaders and as independent women, we have a lot of masculine energy. And so it's just very authoritative. And so we have to remember in that role that, they're showing up with the masculine energy. We're showing up with some masculine energy.
Yes.
And I sometimes have to say, okay, back away, Shayla.
Yes.
Back away. I always say, man down.
Man
okay?
down.
Man down. And just really watch your language and watch
Oh my God, yeah.
how you're interacting because it can be better. It can be. And when I started being very aware of it, I was like,
yeah,
it's me.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to communicate.
Everything that you're saying is just so powerful. And I got to give a huge shout out to Guy Coates. Thank you for being here. He says, good to see you in good health, Queen. Thank you so much. He said, I had to stop giving the world 100 and giving my family what was left over. Amen.
That's it.
Danita is chiming in. Danita Williams, welcome and thank you for being here. She's saying, yes, so true. She giving you a boom, like dropping the mic. You dropping some nuggets. She loves the test as well about the 5 love languages. And everybody else who's here with us, Mark Wiggins, thanks for being here. Lynthia Bordley, thank you for being here. Brian Thompson, Sylvia Browder, and the list goes on. Thank you guys for being here. Please share this out. So then let's move on to the part about the business side. So you say true freedom as a family-centered woman entrepreneur. So what does that true freedom really look like? And then let's talk a little bit more about the affluence as well.
Sure. So true freedom, a lot of us, we've left 9 to 5 with the vision of I'm going to have more freedom as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And you left a 40-hour week and you work 60 hours a week. That's not freedom, okay?
Right, that's not freedom.
And so it was, I left my job so I can spend more time with my children or spend more time with my husband. But you're at the computer. You've missed dinners 6 nights of the week. Yes. You've not been able to sit with the family, okay?
Say it.
You've missed other opportunities because you've been on your grind building this empire.
Yeah.
And in that process, you're tired, you're exhausted, you're sick, you're just not making the money that you really thought you were going to make. And so that's not freedom.
Yeah.
True freedom is being able to create a business model where you don't have to work 40 hours a week. You're maybe working just 20 hours a week, if that. Mm-hmm. If I'm delivering coaching, it's only 2 days a week. Mm-hmm. I'm not working every week of the month. Mm-hmm. I might say I'm going to have 2 months off a year, or I'm working 3 weeks out of the month, but my money matches my effort or exceeds my effort. And you get to a certain point where true freedom is to be able to say no to potential clients that you know are not a fit. You're not desperate to get the next gig, the next client. You have your business positioned in a way where you're actually the one qualifying people to work with you, not them qualifying you as their coach or their guide.
So pause there, because that's really powerful. And I know y'all ears are just like, what? How do I do that? How do I do that? Because that is one of the biggest challenges I find with the women that I work with, that women find, is they feel like, well, I can't find the people who either value what I offer, or value it enough to invest and not want it for free, or value it enough to invest at the premium level price point. So what can you give like a few tips on how does a woman get to that place where she's able to say no to that client because that's not the person who's not the right fit, or that client is not the right fit, and still be able to magnetize to her the ones who are the right fit?
Exactly. So it's about your positioning, positioning in your message, being very clear of who you're speaking to, number one.
Yes.
So if you're calling on everyone, then you will attract everyone, which means you might have to have 20 discovery sessions to get that one fit. But if you're okay with niching down and calling on the women that are exactly the fit that you're looking for, and then qualifying them through applications, and those that are a good fit on paper, you might reach out to. Those that are not, maybe you have something else to offer. You can start scaling down the way that you interact with people. And the big thing I have to teach my clients is we are all givers. We have a fear of leaving people behind.
Yeah,
that's a big fear because we are givers. We have big hearts. But the understanding is there's enough for everyone. Everyone's not a fit for me. I've taken on the clients that I knew in my gut weren't a fit, but I felt I could help someone. But not everyone's ready for your help.
Oh, it's so true. I had a new client who signed on with me, and I don't do a whole lot of individual coaching.
Yeah.
I'm more of in the words of Doreen Rainey, a speaker who coaches versus a coach who speaks. That's just kind of my thing, and so I prefer to be on a stage in front of the masses, sharing a core message. But I do take on a limited number of individual coaching clients. So I spoke in Biloxi, Mississippi a couple weeks ago, and one of the young ladies who heard me speak became a coaching client. And we had our first session yesterday.
Okay.
Oh my God, it was the best session ever. You get that oomph in your spirit when it's the right fit. And you owe it to yourself to be able to experience that level of joy and freedom, if you will. And you owe it to that person to know that you can serve them in that way. So for me, my process is I don't just do discovery sessions, right? I used to do like these 30-minute discovery sessions, which would end up being 45 minutes, which would end up being an actual coaching session. Right. And then at the end of the day, need nothing I offer because I done gave them everything. So that's why you need a coach, because you need somebody letting you know.
Don't coach on a discovery session. That's number one.
Don't coach on a discovery session.
You are literally discovering what's
Come on now. You are discovering what's needed. Y'all better write this down.
You're discovering what's needed.
Do not coach on a discovery session.
The term that people use that's wrong is a strategy session. You are not creating a strategy for someone until they've invested.
Yeah. Come on, Shayla. Okay? You better say it. You can't
practice philanthropy if you're broke. I need you to stop.
Yes. Oh, that was so good. That was so juicy.
It doesn't work.
That was so juicy. Stop coaching on your discovery sessions. Stop calling it a strategy session. You're not strategizing with anybody until they make the investment. That's like if you don't take nothing else away from the day, that right there was worth the price of admission for you showing up today. That thing right there is powerful.
That's because we do it.
Yes.
By the time you give them a strategy session or a discovery session and you've coached because now you're trying to prove your worth, you've artificially given them the idea that they already know and have what they need. And so at that point, why am I investing?
Absolutely.
Because you've already given me the strategy. I think I'm good now.
Absolutely.
But they are not in a place where they can execute it. But you've given them that feeling. Now you're mad because they went over to person Z.
Yes.
And they actually did a discovery session with them and paid them more than you were even going to quote them.
Absolutely.
But you didn't hold your value. You didn't stand in your worth and say, here's the solution. I am your solution, but there's an investment for us to get this work done.
Absolutely. And for me, I took a step further, and I actually have the person has to be qualified through my assistant before they ever get to me. That took me, I'm going to tell you guys the truth, that took me a long time to get there because I am a giver and I am a server and I am that person who just kept pouring and pouring and pouring. And my husband just be sitting there looking at me. Oh, like you got taken again, huh? You got another my pen stick. You got taken again with another 45-minute free call, huh? And they didn't sign up. And it took me a long time to get to a place where I'm like, I can't play that game anymore because, like you said, now I'm tied to the phone. I'm tied to phone calls, and at the end of the day, there's no money coming in that serves my family, who's supposed to be my first ministry.
That's it.
So for me, I go through a qualifying type of very brief call with my assistant first, and in that call, we are qualifying. Are you ready to invest?
That's a big
What is the level of investment that you're ready to make? What is the time commitment that you're willing to make? And a few other things that she asked in that. And then it gets passed on to me if the person is qualified and ready.
Yes.
Not before then, because I don't want to be on a call sharing with you what you should already know.
That's it right there. Well, and the other thing, I love that you have the steps. You have the filters. Basically, I call them filters. So my filters are similar. Also, I have some other techniques I teach my clients too, but you don't get access to my calendar until we're sure that we need to be on the phone.
Absolutely.
I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is they'll say, oh, book this session with me, but there's nothing before the calendar. You know, your time is precious. It's very valuable. And once you get on the phone, even if they've been qualified, really setting the table and helping them to understand, this is what we're going to do. This is a time frame that we have.
That's
I may have to interrupt you.
Yes.
But we want to get clear. I value your time. You value mine. And the other thing, don't make an offer if it's not a fit.
Yeah.
I have gone on the phone, talked to you, and said goodbye. But if it's not a fit, don't do a disservice to them. Don't sell just to sell.
Absolutely.
Just because they have money doesn't mean it's for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's one of my qualifying questions is about in terms of what is it that their current challenges are, what is it that they're really, what's the next step that they're really looking for, so that I can have an idea of what to even recommend, potentially recommend by the time they get to me to talk to me. And you're right, I'm very intentional in terms of the time frame. So we're going to be on the call for exactly 15 minutes, and this is how it's going to, and I literally, before we start the call, I articulate to them what's going to happen on that call.
That's it.
And then 5 minutes before it's time, I give them a wrap-up time.
Yes.
So we have about 5 minutes left because I want you to know that I only have that 15 minutes, and we're going to stick to that. So I love this. I love these strategies. I love these tips. I understand that you're going to be hosting an event. Well, you're on it now, though.
I'm on
the Blueprint
tour.
Family Freedom and Influence Blueprint Tour. Tell us more about that.
So we have a 5-city tour that we launched September the 22nd. And this is for family-centered women entrepreneurs just like you and I. You have a relationship, you have children, you have a business, and your goal is to scale it to your first 6 figures. My clients that are coming into this tour, they have a business. They are selling already, but they have a plateau. They can't figure out how to take that next leap. And you know you should have already met it by now. And so now you're questioning, am I doing something wrong? Is it worth it? You know, all the doubts coming up. I remember being in that place when it was, okay, I have 500 clients, but my paycheck or my account is not reflecting those 500 clients.
Absolutely.
Or you're like, okay, end of the month, it's literally, I love Lynn Richardson. She has a book and she talks about paycheck to Monday. You get that client payment in, by the time you pay for your coaching and other stuff, you're looking on Monday like, what happened to the money, right? And so women are coming into this room and they are actually, we're not only collaborating and creating revised business models in this room, it's workshopping. So it's not a rah-rah celebration room, it's a room to do the work, walk out, have your plan in place. And in the end, I always make an offer. They can do work with me, but they're doing the work in the room too. They are walking out, and then the kicker is, we had a tour in Chicago last week. A woman closed a $5,000 deal in the room.
That's awesome.
I was like, what the what? Can I get a piece of that, please?
Can I get a percentage of that?
It's a small room, so we have only seats for 20 women in each room. And you have to come in the room only if you're willing to work. And so I'm really clear of, I want family-centered women entrepreneurs. We can have a similar conversation. It's not a conversation of if I were a mom. You're either a mom or you're married. You have an existing business. It's not how do I start my first business.
Yeah.
You're already in the works. You need to know, how did I get that money?
Yeah.
How do we get true freedom? How do we do more? How do I work with my children while I have this business? How do I work with the relationship? Everything we've talked about. That's done in 4 hours. Plus, they get a plated lunch, so we're served. I make sure they're taken care of. So everyone's
So yeah, you're gonna eat. You're gonna get some.
You're gonna get some real food. But the hotel, we've worked with the Renaissance brand this entire tour, and I had the best conversation with one of the managers last week in Chicago, and he just really looked at the way we had it set up. He said, you are our brand. Family, he said, it's a lifestyle brand.
Yeah.
It really speaks to the people. This is not corporate. This is getting into the ditches and actually doing the work, but it's intimate. It feels good. He just walked in and he said, I could feel it immediately. So one of the things I have for you there is a gift of what we give out.
Oh, this is for me for now?
Everyone gets a gift. Now don't show them what's in the box, because you got to come to the tour to get it, but you can read the card. The card is awesome. But everyone gets their gift, you get your meal, and you get your results. Come to the room.
I love it. Well, keep up the great work. I just adore you. I've seen you grow and
we've grown together.
We
Cheryl.
have grown together.
But can I remind people of how I met you?
How?
At Doreen's event in 2012. No, 2013. You were jumping out of a plane.
Yes.
We sat side by side.
Cray,
This
cray.
woman sat beside me. She was like, you know what? In a few weeks, I'm going to jump out of a plane. I was like, she BSing over here. What's going on? And literally, we connected on Twitter, and I see the post of you like,
Jumping out the
jumping out of a
plane.
plane.
Yes.
I said, I need to stay connected with her because she does exactly what she says she's going to do.
Amen. That's one thing.
That's
Yes.
a quality that I look for in making connections with women like yourself. You know, women of our word.
Yes.
Women that say when we're going to do something, we do it. When we collaborate, we get it done. If we at your conference when I spoke 2 years ago, being able to be on a stage with you, just really making the connections. Then we went to London together.
Yes, right. We were in London together. Yes.
But I love you because you are a woman of your word.
Thank you.
You do what you say you're going to do. You grow and you share. You're very transparent in that process, and that's what we need more in this industry. People need to see the truth. They need to see who we really are, not just what I call the glossy pipe dreams, you know, of being an entrepreneur. But what does it take to be a family-centered woman entrepreneur on the move and actually getting it done?
Absolutely. Yes. I love it. Well, I love you, love you, love you. How can people reach you, connect with you on social media, your website?
Sure. So they can go on Facebook, Shayla Boyd Gill, my name. You can see how Cheryl has it tagged here, but go and find me on Facebook and you'll see everything that you need from me.
Oh, everybody's saying, well, they love the information that you presented on the discovery calls.
Yes.
Guy says, wait, y'all went skydiving? I got to get that done. Sanithia says, yes, jumping out of a plane is definitely on my bucket list. Guy says, faith is an action word. Knowledge is getting the information. Getting the information. Wisdom is putting the action behind it. Thank you guys so much for being here. Jamie Newton Knight is here.
Jamie.
She says it's an amazing tour. If she's in your area, do yourself a favor and get yourself in the room.
Was in
Come
New
on
Jersey,
now.
yes.
Come on. Sarah's here. She says we do the pre-questionnaire. We do the pre-questionnaires with those right questions and inform them of what they're applying for. Fantastic. Thank you guys so much for all the feedback. If you have questions, post them in the feed here, or you guys can reach out to us, directly, and we will make sure that you are able to get connected directly to Shayla Boyd Gill, mom of 6, super amazing, dynamic woman that you want to stay connected with. You want to learn more about the Family Freedom and Influence Blueprint Tour. Get connected with her. You will not be disappointed. Thank you for being here with us. Love you, love you, love you dearly.
Too, Cheryl.
And you look beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're going to take a brief break, and we're going to be right back with our final guest.
We have powerful words. We have powerful minds. We use our voices, and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work. We're ready to win. We have a strategy, and now we can begin. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. All I need is inside of me. I am enough and now I see. Yeah, I will reach my destiny. Yeah, I don't need your permission. Yes, I'm on a mission. I'll win. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now listen, I want y'all to repeat after me, okay? Because we're going to make some declarations in here today. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. Say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see me. Say, oh, say I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, We are standing bolder. We're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder. We're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder. Shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Hey, yeah. We have powerful words. We have powerful minds. We use our voices and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work. We're ready to win.
All right, that was good stuff, right? With Shayla Boyd Gill. So now we have our final guest for the day, and we have to my left here Lee and Corrine Putney, and they represent Ashe Water LLC. They were actually referred to us by some other friends of our show, and they were like, "You gotta have them on. You gotta have them on." So I'm gonna let you tell us what's so special about Ashe Water. How did it get started? Just give us the lowdown and the scoop.
Well, the way it got started is we listened to, I don't want to say another radio show in the morning.
Oh, I think we allow that here. We don't care.
Oh, Joe Madison.
Okay.
In the morning, and he was talking about Flint, Michigan, and one of the points of his show is, what are you going to do? We could talk about an issue. We can talk about how much we like it, don't like it.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
So when I heard about Flint, Michigan, and the lead that was affecting the children and the people there, and when I started to do research on water, because I love water, I found out that Flint, Michigan was really not up on the scale as far as lead in the water. They were actually down here. So it's a lot of municipalities that have problems with their drinking water. So I said, well, what can I do?
Yeah.
So I tried to find the best water available for us.
So what did that process look like? Because during our conversation before we came live on air, you were saying this is not like your background.
Yeah.
Your background is something completely different.
Yeah,
so,
business.
first of all, I love that you had a passion for it,
Yeah.
that you were willing to do the research and the due diligence to come up with a better solution. But where did you even start? When somebody wants to do something new, it's like you're starting at ground zero. How did you even figure out where to go, what to do?
Well, you just do something. Like I was saying, when somebody said, what are you going to do? You do the next thing. You start researching, you find out about that, and you make the next move instead of just thinking about it.
Yeah.
So, hopefully it acts as some type of motivator for other people to do similar things. If there's a problem, solve it.
Yeah. There you go.
Definitely.
There you go. If there's a problem, solve it. Don't just talk about it and complain about it. Come up with a solution for it. I love it. There's a little movie my kids used to watch. I have 3 little ones. Well, now they're 10, 11, and 14. But there's a movie called Robots, and it says, see a need, fill a need. That was always the thing. That I love that from that movie. See a need, fill a need, and that's clearly what you've done. So tell us what's special about the water. How do people get their hands on the water? How do they, how are you distributing it? Tell us all those good things.
That's a good question, because we don't want to necessarily go to the end user. We want to go business to business and let the businesses distribute the water locally in the DMV area. We're in the Grub factory in Baltimore, the land of Kush.
Yeah.
And now Kepler
I
Raw
know
in
the land of
Washington,
Kush.
D.C.
Yeah. Hey, land of Kush.
Don't forget Kepra's Raw also in D.C. Washington.
who else?
Kepra's Raw. It's an all-natural, raw vegan.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know about it.
They
Okay,
have
that's
Washington
something new
Up
for me.
A Street, right?
Yeah,
A Street?
A
That's
Street.
fantastic.
Yeah, so we want to grow slowly, and we actually want to be with the individuals who produce the water for us.
Got it.
Restaurants.
Got it.
So
The
we want to grow
business to
slow.
business. Yeah, business
yes.
to business.
Yeah, the other motivator was the Ashe. That's just as important as the water, because it's a cultural thing. If you look at our logo, it's red, black, and green.
Right.
Okay, so we're unapologetically Africans.
Come on now. Come on.
So our idea was to do business with African
I love that.
businesses and anybody else, just like rap music. So when rap music started, it was pretty much for black people in the neighborhoods. But now 80% of rap music is bought by white people because it's good music, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the same strategy.
Right.
We're not saying we don't like any other culture. We love all other cultures, Spanish, Italian, whatever. But we also love our own.
That's right.
So
I love that.
when you can get to know who you are and be proud of who you are and have a product to symbolize your proudness and your awareness of self,
Yeah.
Ashe.
Yeah.
Ashe is, I don't know if you realize that Ashe is the libations. You pour libations, you say the name of your ancestors, and you follow up with Ashe. Ashe means so be it, or speak it into existence.
Yes.
The power of positive thought.
Come on now, you better teach a class up in here. He teaching a class, he ain't just coming here with no water now. Come on, I love that.
So I
love that.
It has dual meaning. So if you look
Yeah.
at the label, it says ASE. For someone who is not familiar with Ashe or the word Ashe or the culture, it means alkaline spring experience, ASE. So it has a dual meaning.
I
You
like
see?
it.
Yeah.
I like that. Alkaline spring experience. That's fantastic. You remind me so much of, do you know George Fraser?
No.
So you got to Google him and look him up.
Okay.
And he is all things black, like unapologetically all things black. And he talks a lot about that and about other races and cultures and how they have no problem putting themselves first. So why is it that we as Africans oftentimes and African Americans have a problem putting ourselves first? It's okay to serve your community and to be proud and saying that I'm serving my community first, and then I also serve people outside that community.
And we've been taught to do that, to dislike.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So now, because of 45, we're seeing that, it's okay to do business with each other.
Absolutely.
See, I have a goal to be in all HBCUs.
Come on.
Black churches, schools, restaurants. Like our target audience right now is soul vegan restaurants. That's because if you really think about it, you're eating vegan food,
Right.
you're eating organic food.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you eat vegan water?
Right.
Vegan water
Right.
or
The
organic
purest water,
The
that
purest
you
water
could have.
without
yeah.
chemicals.
Absolutely.
And the answer to your question, where did it come from? It comes from Berkeley Springs. It's world famous.
Okay.
So Berkeley Springs is the only place in the world who holds a international water testing every year. So water products from all over the world come to Berkeley Springs, West Virginia, and they compete to see who's the best. So that's what drew us to Berkeley Springs to do more research. And the water, this water is called thermal water.
Okay.
It comes out the ground hot, and it collects minerals. You say like Dr. Sebi, you familiar with Dr. Sebi?
No.
Dr. Sebi, S-E-B-I, please Google Dr. Sebi.
Okay.
Because he is the only man who went to the Supreme Court in New York that proved he could cure AIDS. He took 30 people with him that had AIDS, and they didn't have it no more. And most people never heard his name.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
All right, we'll
yeah.
look it up. We'll definitely do our research and look it up. So what is the difference between a bottle of Ashe water and my local bottle of Dasani, Aquafina, Deer Park, Fuji, whatever? What's the difference?
First of all, I'm gonna say I love those waters. I'm not, I'm not.
We're not
speaking
against those
None
waters.
of those waters, because they large.
We're not against them, but we're just saying, what's
But
the difference?
It's the pH level.
Okay, so the pH level, you guys, because we got a bunch of people watching here,
Yes.
here live, so we want them to know, okay, why should I even consider this? Or if they have a restaurant or they have a business,
Yes.
why should I consider this versus just my typical water?
And it's chemical free.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Just chemical
Absolutely.
free. Yes,
Yeah,
all
you go. The
natural
pH
minerals.
scale goes from 0 to 14.
Come on, give us a class.
Okay, 7 is neutral. Okay, so anything below 7 is acidic. So if you eat acidic food like fast foods and all that kind of stuff, it's acidic. Anything alkaline above 7 is alkaline, like plant-based. Okay, leafy vegetables, fruits, vegetables, alkaline. So think about it this way: you're swimming in a swimming pool, and you have chemicals in the swimming pool, and the pH level drops below a certain level because you're not maintaining it. It does what? What happens to the pool water?
Form algae.
Okay.
turns
I
green.
don't know. This ain't I'm not the expert. You the expert. Don't ask me nothing about no water. I don't know. First of all, I don't swim. You know how black women are about their hair. I ain't gonna ask me some question like that. Okay.
Well, if you don't maintain the pool water, it's going to turn green.
It's gonna turn green. They're gonna answer y'all.
Now-
It's gonna
now-
turn
now
green.
think about this: your body does the same thing.
All right,
So if your
all
body
right.
is acidic and you just eating fast foods and
crap.
foods with no nutritional value, that's when dis-ease can live in your body.
Well, yes. And this is true. You guys know I've been on my own journey that I'm still fighting with, but this is very, very true because at the beginning of the year, I went on my own little journey of kind of trying to cleanse those those foods that cause wreak havoc on our bodies from my system, I released 41 pounds. Now let's not talk about what's happened since then, but I released 41 pounds. I felt amazing. I felt great. My blood pressure drastically dropped. And it was just amazing how I felt. Went to South Africa in May. You guys know this, the story. Let myself be free just to eat whatever. Ain't been right since. And my body tells me. Like, your body knows what you're putting in it, and it will perform based on what you're putting in it. Whether it's this, water, whether it's food, your body is going to perform based on what you are feeding it and fueling it with. Yeah?
Well, food is medicine.
It is.
That's what Dr. Sebi preaches, So we tend to eat for the next 10 years. So you can eat anything today. It's probably not going to show up for 10 years. So if you keep that in mind, it will kind of like, make you take a second look at it.
Well, I think sometimes we don't really get it. And I think a part of it is our background because of how we've been taught to eat. And that comes through, a whole lot of history with slavery and all that stuff. So I'm not getting to that class. But how we've been taught to eat is it has to shift. And we have to be willing to have an open mind about what we put in our bodies. And I think even for myself, and I consider myself a pretty intelligent woman. I mean, I got common sense. And even for me, I know, okay, the pizza is not the best thing. The French fries, the fried chicken wings, whatever it is that I like is not the best thing. But I've been in such a habit of doing it that it's hard to break the habit because you don't see the immediate effect all the time, right? But like you said, if you think about it in that 10-year frame, what is this going to do to my body over the course of 5 years, 10 years? That's when, and now I'm about to be 45, and everything matter. Like, everything that I put in, it's like, oh, I can't have that no more. Can't eat that. That's not good for me. So maybe you don't realize it initially, but it always comes back around. And I didn't realize it until literally in January when I did that. I cut out the white flour, the sugars, all the
starchy stuff.
Yes, all the crap that we put in our bodies. I mean, the weight was just releasing from my body. I felt so good. And Shayla and I were talking about that. I'm like, I'm going back to it because I love the way I felt. It wasn't just the weight. It just wasn't the size of my dress. It was how I felt. The energy, the vibrancy I felt. And I'm sure if you add that in, like you said, it only makes sense that if you're doing clean, healthy eating, you might as well add the pure water to it, right? So that it's almost 100% that you're doing this, right?
Absolutely.
So where do you see yourselves, as we start to kind of wrap up, where do you guys see yourselves in the next, I'm gonna just say 3 years. I'm not even gonna go 5 years out. Let's do 3 years. What do you want to see manifested?
I want to see us as a culture be more educated on what we put in our mouth. Okay, so this is just a natural journey. And once we got the cell phones and we were able to research and get information, information is power. And you can see that every water is not the same, just like every car is not the same. Every pair of shoes is not the same. It's the reason why you pay $3 a case for a water at a local store or whatever, because it's the quality of it. It's just tap water. And where does tap water come from? Most tap water is the same tap water you flush down the commode. It goes back to the treatment facility. They clean it up, put chemicals in it, and shoot it back to your water fountain. And
that's so nasty. But okay,
that's what happens.
I know, right?
But see, most people don't know this.
And that's because we need more people like you all talking about it. So I love that you are blazing a trail to get the conversation started, keep the conversation going. And you said something very, very potent about our children. And that's why for me also it's so important that I just get this thing under control, because I'm showing my children what it means to either eat healthy and well and fuel your body, or to eat bad and have disease.
Yeah, we have to be the role model.
We do. We have to be the role model. And so I think about that often. And I don't know, the older I get, it becomes more pressing for me, more urgent for me to show my kids what it really means to take care of yourself, take care of your temple, what you're putting in. They say what you put in is what you get out, what you get out. So that really
and
manifests.
it helps with clarity of mind.
Come on, you speak up. She got all these little nuggets. She's trying to softly whisper over here. Everybody want to hear that. Go ahead, say that one again.
Just clarity of mind. Yeah, because you're what you eat. So,
you are what you eat.
The way you think.
Yeah, the clarity. Yes. So how can people get in touch with you? How can they get their hands on the water? Because I see you have this big case. Yeah. So would you do you only do business to business? Or will you, if somebody says, hey, I want a case of that water?
We're on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a distribution chain in itself, but we want to grow locally from the DMV because one of the obstacles with water is the weight of it.
Yeah.
The sheer weight of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're actually looking.
You mean when you're talking in terms of shipping?
Shipping.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is bring on distributors.
Right.
So there's opportunity with Ashe Water.
Okay.
For distributors, for investors who want to make a difference in their school, their church, their college, their community. So it starts with the basics. We look at ourselves like plants. We need two vital things: sunlight, vitamin D, and water. That's vital to you. So the more clean water we drink, the healthier you will become because it flushes your system.
Yes.
And the pharmaceutical companies do not want you to know these things.
Of course.
And when you get in touch with Dr. Sebi by doing some research, that's all he ever preached. He was famous for, he treated Michael Jackson, left eye. He cured her of all kind of things. He went to the Congressional Black Caucus and lobbied them, because of his cure for AIDS. People think it's amazing that there is a cure for AIDS. It's called getting all the mucus out of your body. He said there's only one disease. It's mucus in your body from eating milk and different things, cow's milk and all
Again,
kind of stuff.
what we putting in. It's
Yes.
what we're putting in. It really is.
Yeah.
It is that thing that can take and it does take people. It does take people out of here. What people are putting in their body. So I'm so glad that you were able to stop by, that we were able to have this conversation, that we were able to bring more awareness to this. I commend you. Keep the conversation going. Get our people, especially talking about it and being aware of what we're putting in. I think there is a certain heightened level of awareness in terms of the food, but this is just as important. The water is just as important. Okay. So you guys can go on Amazon and look up Ashe Water. It's ASE. You can go on Amazon. There's also a website.
www.asewater.com.
Okay, you got that? That's easy enough. If somebody could type that in the feed, that would be great.
And we want to become your official water for all your guests that come here. Ashe Water. Everybody's going to be drinking.
Come on now. I
got
my
we close out?
I'm going to let y'all know. I'm going to give y'all some feedback on this.
When
I'm going
we
to start
close out,
asking
we
all
say
my guests to bring me
Ashe.
something. I'm like, everybody bring me something that I can then come back and give feedback to the audience on. But I will definitely drink that, and I will let you guys know what I think. But we want to help this amazing, y'all a couple?
Yes.
Okay, husband and wife. You never know. I don't want to call it what it's something it wasn't. So this amazing couple, this husband and wife, let's help them to achieve their mission in getting this throughout the DMV, but not just the DMV, worldwide, and to increase our own awareness about what we're putting in our bodies, including our water. One more time, the website.
www.asewater.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much,
Ashe.
Teresa. Thank you, Teresa, for typing that in our Facebook feed. Bernadette Bronner says this was very informative. Thank you. Minister Rosa Hodge says talk about the water. Something, I'm not sure what she was saying in that one, but clearly people are intrigued. Yes, she says water is so important. All right, fantastic. So thank you guys for being with us. We will be here again next Wednesday from 12 to 1 right here on Impact the World Radio. Have an amazing week and weekend. We'll see you next week. Ashe.
We have powerful words. We have powerful minds. We use our voices and freedom takes flight. And we're ready to work. We're ready to win. We have a strategy, and now we can begin. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. Now you are a champion. God is my witness. Imperfect perfection. Living my mission and winning. See, we are influencers. We have fear, but don't stop. I have the confidence to rise to the top. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over. All I need is inside of me. I am enough, and now I see. reach my destiny. Yeah. I don't need your permission. Yes, I'm on a mission. I'll win. Oh, oh, oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Now listen, I want y'all to repeat after me, okay? Because we're going to make some declarations in here today. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, yeah. I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. Say, I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see me. Say, oh, say I'm building my legacy for the whole world to see. You say, we are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, we're shoulder to shoulder. We are standing bolder, shoulder to shoulder. Playtime is over. Playtime is over.